Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great episode of the Shadow Realm live right here on Sideline Sports. I am your host, Bodkins, and of course, with me as always is Mr. Bobby Blunt. Bobby, it wasn't the most eventful fight weekend this past Saturday, but the main event, we got maybe one of the most I think I don't want to say shocking, but just like solidified, like, okay, this guy is a guy going forward in Quillen Salkilld. What he did to Gamrot was almost, performance of the year type because Gamrot's faced the who's in this division and not one person did him like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Every now and then, contenders kind of come through, or guys come up, and you see a performance, and it just kind of like elevates them in a different tier of just young, long-lasting kind of contender. I felt very similar, like when I first started seeing Ilya fight in the UFC, you know, and he just, as far as the test of Gamrot, it was incredible how he, even though it was only a round, he passed like four or five of the kind of biggest like hurdles because like Gamrot is a known, just very good scrambler. And for Quinlan to be able to shut that down more or less the entire time was because I thought Gamrot's best route to victory would have been, trying to initiate the grappling. He ended up having to do it, getting caught. Quinlan hurt him early, and pretty much when he had to shoot, um, the fight from there on out was just Quinlan winning all the scrambles and exchanges and just being kind of one step ahead of Gamrot. Even when he got him in that leg lock, at no point did he ever really panic, and he just waited to get out of it and was able to take his back off it. And just very impressive stuff that would be impressive enough if he was doing it like kind of in the UFC with where he at in his career. Doing it to Gamrot is just utterly insane. And the finish when he was able to like hook the arm to avoid being able to like come up on his back again was great. And then him like creating the space, um, getting Gamrot to like try to turn towards him is how he like synced the choke in. I can't recall like seeing that. And so for him to do that against Gamrot, like A plus. Like I know people would have wished the fight to go maybe into the championship rounds to see more or less what the gas tanks holds, but I think he just passed it on every level, and it's really refreshing to see a young contender in that division that you really just think sky's the limits for.
Yeah. When you're able to, like, I never would have thought, I thought, like, if you would have said, hey, what's the possibilities of this fight? I would have said, like, the least two I would have expected is Gamrot by knockout or Salkilld by submission, right? Like, if he's going to get him out of there, if Salkild's going to get Gamrot out of there, I'd have been like, oh, it's by knockout, right? Like, we even kind of said that on Wednesday's show. And then to see him like, like Gamrot took him down, like you said, he got him hurt, and then had that. It's kind of like the knee lock, but it was Salkilld was never like he knew he wasn't in any danger, was able to stand up, and then was kind of messing with Gamrot on the feet. But for him to level change and then take Gamrot down, you're like, holy shit, like what do we that was like a holy shit moment for me when I was watching it, is because like I didn't expect it for him to do that, right? You're like, he's going to want to stay at standing, but for him to be like, nah, I'm going to take down one of the toughest grapplers in this division. I'm going to take him down. And like you said, to take his back like that and then submit him. This is a guy Arman Sarukian went, on a main event with and could not, tap out and out grapple. So like that puts him to a new level of like, Charles Oliveira-esque type level, where Charles is one of the few guys that did that to Gamrot. And I don't even think he did not do it inside one or as quickly as Gamrot. So to me, I came away thinking Quentin Salkilld could be definitely a new face in this division. That we could see in this top 5 for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it infuriates me when you do the thumbnails asking me if Medic is a contender. It's warranted. He actually is a contender. There's really no question about it at this point. And I do definitely think he gained quite a bit of confidence after he hurt him early and then was able to maintain and get the better kind of positions in all the scrambles. And that's when he made the decision. Yeah, I can probably keep this going, but I feel comfortable where I'm at here. So yeah, him shooting back down and really just being able to maintain the positions, especially when he got his back, when Gamrot was trying to throw him off, and he just was one step ahead of him the entire time, and about as flawless as a performance that you can get. I mean, like you said, probably the only other person that went through him this quickly was Oliveira. It was kind of in a different fashion because Oliveira just decided immediately, yeah, no, I'm just going to take you down because I'm
And it was
better
short
than you
notice at
here.
that for Gamrot too.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, and I was not that upset at the rest of the card. Like, it was entertaining enough. It had a decent pace and kept going through. I appreciated the kind of new innovations to the Apex, like them actually having 1,200 seats. So, it threw me off when people were cheering for Quinlan, not
Yeah.
because I knew he was popular, but just hearing them cheering. And then when they're introducing Gamrot, Gamrot was getting booed. And that's the first time I've ever really recall hearing anyone be able to get booed at the Apex. So, you know, does it have me thinking still, oh, this was still the best place for this moment for him? Absolutely not. The arena, if he did that in an arena, the roof would have blown off. I mean, you got a decent reaction for Apex quality
Right.
loudness there. But, so I did appreciate what they were doing, the new camera angles and stuff, though. So, optimistic to see what they got going forward with that. But easily, that was Salkill's night. Owned every moment of that fight, and I think they should do whatever they can to get him on whatever card Volkanovski is on. That is the next move. Have him fight on the
He
Volk card
he
next.
said
Please.
November. No, he said November. I think Volk's fighting in October.
Yeah, he also mentioned MSG, and he's not picky, and I appreciate that about him. But I saw Bilal Muhammad tweet BSD next. I quote tweeted that saying, "No, Max or Oliveira next."
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
we had questions to be answered about him fighting Gamrot. We got those questions answered. There are no questions I have against him fighting BSD.
Yeah.
If it's about him turning around to get another fight this year, I wouldn't be mad at it, but in no way would it be my third or maybe fourth choice.
Him and Max would be fun.
Him and Max would be fun, and I think we get the answers of in the later rounds how he would look there.
Yeah.
However, then again, you did see Oliveira's success, and who's to say Salkilld wouldn't mix it up both ways? But I do think Max or Oliveira would just be perfect matchup stylistically because they're also extremely popular. He has the rising name, and it just sounds like very fun, fresh matchmaking.
Whose future? I still maintain that you got to do Patty Ilya, but whose future is brighter, Patty or Salkid? If you had to
If they
buy
were
stock,
if they were matched up today, I would pick Salkilld to win. I know that's not the question you asked. Stock wise, it's Patty does have that ascension outside the UFC because the Barstool deal. So I think he's always going to have more like popularity on that end.
I mean, in
But
the
at the
octagon.
same, yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like with Salkilld, um, if we were to say like solely in the octagon, I would have to say Salkilld at this point because Patty had a great performance against BSD. I still have some questions I need answered. I don't really have those questions to be answered with Salkilld. Like the only person I would not view as a 50-50 fight in that division would probably be Armin. I would view that maybe more 70-30, but to where I have questions about Patty, everyone 1 through 5 at this point. So
Right.
I think by that metric, I would have to say Salkilld. I know that sounds like recency bias, but let's also not forget like Volk's got maybe 1, 2 left max. He could be. I think he already is that next wave for Australian fans, but for him to keep solidifying and winning in the first round is just so impressive.
Yeah, it has been, and it's crazy. Like, uh, we've been talking a little bit about like this old guard in the lightweight division. Like now you got Armin, Ilya, Salkid, Patty, all under 30.
Yeah, and there's plenty more outside that division under 30 as well. So it does give you a lot of optimism for the future of we're because I know like the whole thing is the critical of the star thing, and the way media is done now, I think that's just never kind of going to be the same as it was in the past. Like,
Yeah.
instead of trying to build Armin up as a star, we're building him up as a TikToker or a streamer or whatever. And unfortunately, that seems to be the way for him to get the door open. But yeah, I just think for him to be calling these guys out too, like he wanted the Gamrot matchup. Like he wanted to prove that he could test himself and beat someone of that caliber. So I think he's just going to keep doing it. And I don't think they can go wrong with him at this point. He's that nuclear. Like I would be excited for anyone he'd be fighting on upcoming card. And he'd be perfect for MSG as well, because you always save those kind of bigger popular guys for that arena, and it sounds like that's one he wants to kind of check off the list. So let's run that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I was trying to look at the rest of this card here. In the co-main, 41-year-old Diego Ferro gets the Fiera gets the win, a unanimous decision over Billy Q. Darren Elkins puts the gloves down. He finally took the damage. Finally took his last damage. Any thoughts there on the co-main and the third card there?
The damage finally took his last damage. This is insane. Um,
I mean, he
yes,
did, Bob. He got knocked out in the first round.
that was really rough to watch. I was, no disrespect, kind of expecting it. It was a very tough matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the odds
Um,
said it was going to be. He was.
yeah, and I appreciate they gave him a kind of package video prior to the fight because I think it was right to do it before getting that result. And
Right.
so I appreciate the wars for him as ever. And I don't know what to make of Yadir. He's young and looks very dangerous. So someone kind of interesting to look out for. The co-main event, it was a fun fight, but as far as what to take away for it for the future, I got nothing. Like you,
Right.
um, and I was kind of thrown off that it was fight of the night. I mean, it was very entertaining, but like for my money, I would have given fight of the night to Asplin, Pat. I thought that was kind of a little bit more back and forth and fun. But I'm not trying to pocket watch on anyone's bonus. And I also
Speaking of,
thought
speaking of,
the Go ahead.
Speaking of that fight, the Asplin fight, what do you make of Asplin? Like he gets the unanimous decision. It's kind of heavyweight. You know, he just puts a lot of pace on you for a
Yeah,
bigger guy. Like that's what
it,
like just pitter patters you a lot.
it's impressive and fun to watch. I know you love it. It's the big boys looking good, and you know I think he can do a lot of good stuff in this division. I don't think he said very clear in his post-fight interview, Hunter, Mick, line me up with whatever fatty you want me to fight next. So like he's willing to fight anyone,
Yeah, he
but
said Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill.
he actually said that.
Yeah, in the in the post conference, I saw a clip of it. Yeah,
I mean, I guess that would be fun. My whole point is I don't think there's any reason to rush it. All it takes is to get a couple nice wins at heavyweight. I thought it was kind of appropriate matchmaking. He himself said he thought the odds were kind of wide. So, it seems like he's kind of self-aware and acknowledging like certain stuff he has to do. But he's one of the like brighter spots in the division for me, undoubtedly. But I'm not going to get crazy and ask to see a matchup with like Hokit or anything. We
yeah. I
got
don't think he's.
plenty
I
of
think
time to
you know,
build.
he's more. I like him more than I like it. Like as the personality wise, like he's just a guy who's kind of silly and true to himself, and I like that style. He's not trying to be anybody other than himself, and it's kind of Roy Nelson esque to me.
He reminds me a lot of Big Country.
Yeah,
It's especially like if he's going for like a crucifix or something. I immediately thought of Roy Nelson doing that to Kimbo. R.I.P. But he reminds me a lot of Big Country as well.
yeah. So I feel like he's a guy that I can get behind, but I don't ever think he's gonna be a guy that fights for the title guy. And I always thought about that about Roy Nelson too. You're muted.
I tend to agree, but at the same time, he is also still fairly young.
Yeah.
And if it was any other division, I'd probably be like comfortable like saying that. But we know things at heavyweight could change fast. Like I could see him definitely fighting for a title in a few years. I don't know if he'd win it, but I kind of get the comp though. But yeah, just fun heavyweights. We need more of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, I want to back up to the Limoges and Theoner fight. I thought really that fight, Bobby, was maybe the most important fight outside of the main event as far as like rankings. Like Limoges has fought for the title, is obviously on the down side of her career. And so they need new people to kind of fill up this strawweight division that's real thin at times, and here comes maybe a possible new contender.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one I would have had no problem if they did fight of the night for. I thought it was a decent kind of back and forth fight. And Limoges did drop her early in the fight. I didn't really expect that. Thiana seemed to recover from it well, and most of the time was able to kind of maintain the distance and then use fence control and beat her up. But yeah, I mean, she continues to keep winning, and she has a lot of energy walking to the octagon too. So seems to always have fun out there. But yeah, definitely someone to like keep an eye on for what she could be doing in the future. I mean, like you said, we've been seeing so little less women's MMA being booked recently. It's good to see, someone kind of having success. She only has the one loss, and I believe she is undefeated in the UFC. So, kind of interested to see what they do with her next. I don't know if they're going to give her like a heavy wrestler or something. I mean, this one was kind of the Brazilian on Brazilian matchmaking,
Yeah.
which I appreciated, but I would be kind of interested to see if they give her someone more kind of grappling and wrestling heavy for her next fight.
Yeah, it would be interesting what they do here. I just thought it was a big win for her, and wanted to give her a quick shout. Um, Bobby, was there anything else over the weekend that caught your eye?
Um, Got to give a shout out to Juliana Miller for being able to get that submission. Seemed like it meant a lot to her. So happy for that. And Manuel Souza also had a damning performance. Put Machete out, and it was just kind of a dominant 3 round performance on his end. And Miles Johns also had a exciting, finish. And I thought the prelims, were pretty evenly matched and like entertaining. A little bit better match than the Serbia card. So I did appreciate the card there. Any other thoughts on like the weekend per se? PFL had a semi decent event as far as the undercard and some fights in the main card, but the Brian Battle De Souza or De Rosa was pretty rough. Both guys seem
That's
like
what
a
I
little
heard. I
out of.
haven't watched the fight,
Yeah.
but I haven't didn't hear great things about it. And it's can't be good when you're scrolling on Twitter and you don't see one thing about it.
Yeah, and they were able to have it on Friday again, so at least like they had their own airwaves, and the prelims on that card were really fun. But yeah, for that main event, both guys just seemed like very hesitant to not want to make a mistake or anything. So it made some of the rounds in between just a little stale. And I can kind of understand it though, with Battle just having such a rough showing against Johnny Eblin. He wanted to make sure to get the victory. I guess he did get, like, if it went to De La Rosa, I would have had no problem with it. In real time, I scored it for him, but you can't really say one guy was robbed because neither of them did too much. So I knew there was, one guy was going to be unhappy with the decision, and it was De La Rosa. So back in the win column, was talking about wanting to fight Jake Paul in his MMA debut. Um, I gotta say, with what I saw with Battle in the Cage, might be a winnable fight for Jake Paul.
That's probably the
All,
fight that happens. Then that
all,
might be
all,
the
all
fight.
I'm saying. And I mean no disrespect to Brian Battle. I was very high on him in the past, but I don't think that would be a fight where he would be like some resounding favorite or anything. But who knows? What do I know?
Yeah. You know what I know, Bobby, is that UFC 330 is this Saturday. Um, we're not going to break down the card or anything, but it is a huge card. It's the return of Islam Makhachev versus Ian Gary. Islam's first defense at welterweight, and here we go. I think a very intriguing fight. I'm not. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be exciting as far as like action packed. I think it's going to be a chess match, and I do think Ian Gary is not getting the respect he deserves inside the octagon, because I do think he is one of the smartest fighters in the organization.
Yeah, no, his defense is very, very good. And I've been looking forward to this fight ever since it's been announced. A lot of the past weeks, this is what kind of got me through those weeks, is knowing that this one was coming down the line. This is just going to be elite uh, problem solving 101. And, you know, um, I'm very interested to see how Makachev approaches this, because Ian Gary is very long and lengthy. He's very good at fighting at distance, and he likes to fight behind the jab. So I'm just interested if Islam is going to have any like looks for that jab with initiating takedowns. I mean, I know a lot of people think that Ian Gary is the better striker. I don't think I'm going to make that assertion. I think they're pretty evenly matched on the feet. And but Gary is just very good at sticking and moving and being able to stay off the fence. And I'm just in a year where we've gotten a lot of fights where they might have been good fights, but the guy was not fighting the clear number one contender. We are getting the pound for pound number one fighter in the world fighting the most well deserved contender in a second weight class that he's captured the title for. And I'm just going to appreciate every moment of that. I mean, like you said, this probably isn't going to be kind of like a car crash war like Islam versus Poirier was, because Ian Gary maintains the distance a lot better. But I haven't been this excited to figure out what the outcome of a fight is. I think really all year. I mean, Pantoja and Van is the other one that I've been kind of waiting for. Um, I had these same questions for Strickland, Chimaev, but nowhere near as much as this. And I'm just glad we only have to wait a few more days for this. I cannot wait, man.
Yeah, it's been the year of the upsets. Really, I mean, really, Sean Strickland, right? The upset of Hamzat, Justin Gaethje. Can Ian Gary make it kind of 3 for 3 here on these taking the and new and being the kind of the upset, pulling off the upset. Islam himself said like I took it like I played it safe against JDM. I'll probably take more risk in this fight. So that'll be interesting because, like, I do think Islam got the rap of the last fight, right, from the JDM fight that he's a boring fighter. But if you go back and watch his other fights, they they were pretty fun and entertaining. He's not quite, like Khabib as far as to just takedown after takedown. Like he does a lot of good damage, gets people out of there. He's been in a lot of exciting fights, so I don't really label him, as like somebody I don't think that's very entertaining. I think
Yeah, I
this
mean, he's just completely well rounded. And,
right. I
he
think
can,
Ian Gary is too, though. I really do. I
yeah.
think Ian Gary's very well rounded.
And on that point, like if Ian Gary wins this, I would not deem this an upset. Because I think Ian Gary is that good to where he can take 3 rounds off Islam. Do I think that is going to happen? No, I think Islam will be able to figure it out. But I just, especially if we're comparing it to like Gaethje,
Ilya.
versus Ilya, it's in nowhere near, because like this is just much more kind of evenly matched. Where I understand that Islam is the favorite on this, but he's not an insane favorite like the Ilya or even the like Strickland one, where Chimaev was a heavy favorite there. So yeah, I guess like quote unquote by the book standard, it would be an upset, but I guess that's just how much of a live dog I think Ian Gary really is in this, even if I think Islam gets it done.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with you on that part. I do think it's going to be a close fight. I think people are underestimating how good Ian Gary is. I think Ian's very. One thing I was going to say real quick also is like Ian's team has prepared for Islam before, twice, really. I mean, Charles ended up having to pull out of that second fight, but they've prepared for him before. So we'll see.
That is true. However, that also does go the other foot. Not so much with the fighters, but they know that Shuto box team really well.
Yeah.
And granted, Ian Gary is his own man. He's way different than Oliveira. But I could see why each team would feel very confident with just kind of knowing the other team.
Yeah, we'll see. Can't wait to talk about. We'll talk about all the UFC 230 next Monday, next week, right here on the Shadow Realm, exclusively on Sideline Sports. And if you like more of the UFC 230 talk, we will be breaking down the full card this Wednesday over on the Bodkin Show channel. Head kicks and haymakers, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. So please tune into that if you'd like to see us break down more of the card. Other than that, this has been another great episode of the Shadow Realm. I'm Bodkins. That's Bobby Blunts. It's been another great episode. We'll catch you right here next week.
Watch Rising tonight.